Gestapo. The Gestapo was a soup manufacturing um, division. They were manufacturing soups and other things for me. They were making recipes and soups and they were canning them. And I believe this is possibly before pasteurization or at least the proper food handling protocols that were later on developed. But what happened is about 2,000 cans had been canned that went bad or had salmonella tainting inside of them. And the Gestapo organization was canning them for me and shipping them out to people. 150 people ended up dying, I believe, or 250 people were critically sick, and about 2,000 people got some sickness from it. But the Gestapo, I joked about it because it had actually killed 150 people or 200 people. I mean, you know about salmonella. What it turned out to be was salmonella or something had actually worked its way into one of the canning facilities. I believe there were three canning facilities total or something that were affected by this problem. And it was this was before they had what's it called ID labels and numbers on the cans themselves to indicate where the cans had actually been made. So it's a big problem of which cans were actually tainted. And I believe it was a cold soup that you could just eat cold. And I think what they did later on was they just told people to heat the soup up to boiling temperatures before they actually ate it. Um, and that kind of rectified the problem a little bit, I think, and averted the deaths or from the things. But 150 people got sick from the soup, and I believe I don't know if it was before pasteurization or not, but basically it was a soup company, and it was rectified, and also labels and ID numbers for where the cans were printed and which cans would be affected came out of this actually. But the Gestapo was originally a soup canning facility or organization back in the day. And like I said, 150 to 250 people had actually gotten sick and died from this or gotten critically ill from the soup. Um, but protocols, everything was changed. I tasked a group to find out exactly how this had happened, where it happened, and they instituted the new protocols where everything is ID'd and labeled and stamped, and so in future cases where there were sickness or whatever, it could be found out exactly which cans had actually affected the people and where these canning facilities actually were. You understand on a worldwide scale, or at least a countrywide scale, how generic cans can actually be a serious problem. And back in World War II, most cans were generic. You'd get a can that said tomatoes on it, and that was it. It didn't have any ingredient labels or anything. And I had this whole ingredient and also what's called labels. Another thing that there were other problems where people would be allergic to something and then they would accidentally eat a soup that had something of that inside of it. So protocols had to be developed or for doing that as well, as far as so people who had allergies to a certain kind of thing. There were some problems where somebody would eat something and they wouldn't know that there was nut oil inside of it, and they would actually get sick because of that and actually even die. And that was another contributing factor to some of the deaths was certain people had certain allergies and the world was finding this out. And so all recipe or all ingredients had to be labeled on the back of the can so someone that had like a nut allergy could look at it and go, oh wait, I shouldn't eat that. And people were suggested that if they did have allergies, they should look at certain recipes. And there was also later on a group that would help people understand exactly which ingredients were used in which cans. So what was safe to eat, what was not safe to eat. If you had like a peanut allergy or something like that, or a shellfish allergy or something. I had no idea that people had peanut allergies actually, and to me it was a wake up call. I had no idea, and I learned. So, um, and things were developed where certain items would have certain things and certain items wouldn't have other things. So people could have a wide range of food because for a while there, certain people couldn't eat certain things. In fact, they had very limited choices, and there was a whole project as far as getting those people with limited choices some more choices. So cans and stuff. So certain things would be made with certain things and not made with other things, blah blah. And also the segregation of what things are allergic or what people can be allergic to was also created, as far as certain foods would eliminate the things that people could possibly be allergic to. So most items that you buy at the store would actually be safe to most people, except for the few people that had the extreme allergies or whatever. So anyway, that was Gestapo and what the Gestapo soup manufacturing complex, I believe, was about, and what really happened with that. So I believe, if I remember right, that's what that was.